You wake before the sun rises, because the pharaoh's records do not wait for daylight. You are a royal scribe in the court of ancient Egypt, and your reed pen is already on your mind. Your home is a modest mud brick house near the palace complex in Memphis. Better than most, because scribes are not like most people. You wash your face in a clay basin and eat a small portion of bread and figs standing beside the window. Outside, the Nile is already bright with early morning light, and the city is beginning to stir. You wrap yourself in a clean white linen kilt and fasten a simple pectoral collar around your neck. Blue and gold, the colors of your office. You carry your wooden scribal palette, your bundle of fresh papyrus sheets, and your leather pouch of ink cakes to the palace. The palace gates are guarded, but the guards know your face and wave you through without stopping you. This is one of the small dignities of your position, one that you have not stopped appreciating even after 3 years in this role. Inside the palace complex, the morning preparations are already underway. Servants carry water and food through the corridors. Priests move toward the temple in ordered silence, and officials cluster in small groups talking in low voices. You make your way to the Hall of Records, a long, cool room lined with tall wooden shelves holding thousands of papyrus scrolls. Your senior colleague Amenhotep is already there, unrolling a scroll and frowning at it with his whole face. He tells you without looking up that the grain taxation records from the southern provinces have arrived, and they contain errors. You sit at your low wooden writing table, cross your legs beneath you in the traditional scribal position, and place your palette across your knees. The palette is beautiful, carved from dark acacia wood, with 2 circular wells for black and red ink, and a long slot holding 12 smoothed reed pens. You grind a small block of black ink cake against a wet stone and load your finest pen. The first task is copying a royal decree from a damaged older papyrus onto a fresh sheet. You must reproduce every hieroglyph exactly, every determinative, every phonetic sign, without a single error. A mistake in a royal decree is not simply a mistake, it is an offense against the order of the universe itself. You settle into the careful rhythm of copying, each sign placed with intention and precision. The room around you is quiet except for the scratching of reed on papyrus and the occasional murmur between scribes. After an hour of copying, your hand is cramping and you flex your fingers slowly and deliberately. You take a small sip of water from a clay cup, reset your pen, and continue. This is not glamorous work, but it is sacred work, and you know the difference. By mid-morning, a messenger arrives carrying a sealed clay tablet from the vizier's office. It is a request to prepare a summary of the Nile flood measurements from the past 12 months. You pull 3 different scroll sets from the shelves, cross-referencing the Nilometer readings from Elephantine, Memphis, and the Delta. The Nile's flood determines everything: the crop yield, the tax base, the price of grain, the survival of whole provinces. Getting these numbers wrong has consequences that ripple outward for years. You work methodically, converting the measurements into a clear table on a fresh papyrus sheet, marking the highest and lowest flood levels in red ink. Red ink is reserved for headings, totals, and warnings, never for ordinary text. This small distinction matters more than it might appear, because a scribe who does not know the rules of color has not yet learned to think like a scribe. A senior official named Horemheb arrives at midday and leans over your shoulder to watch you work. He does not speak while you write, because even officials know better than to disturb a scribe mid-line. When you finish the table, he picks it up, examines it, nods once, and takes it away without a word. This is the highest praise you will receive today, and you are content with it. You eat your midday meal sitting in the courtyard outside the Hall of Records. It is a simple meal of bread, dried fish, cucumber, and a small cup of beer. Scribes eat well compared to farmers and laborers, because the pharaoh's administration values those who can read and calculate. Around you, other scribes and minor officials eat and talk quietly, sharing observations about the morning's work. Someone mentions that the pharaoh will hold an audience this afternoon, and several high officials will need documents prepared immediately afterward. You finish your meal and return to your table to prepare blank document templates in advance. This is a habit your old teacher drilled into you: anticipate the work before it is asked for. Your teacher, a small, severe man named Nebwenesef, taught you for 11 years. You began learning hieroglyphs at age 4, sitting in a schoolroom with 30 other children, copying signs onto broken pottery shards because papyrus was too expensive for students. You practiced the same signs hundreds of times until your hand produced them without thought. Then you learned the hieratic script, the faster cursive form used for everyday administration. Then mathematics, measuring, accounting, and the reading of flood records and grain tallies. By the time you were 15, You could calculate the tax yield of a province from its flood measurement and its cultivated area alone. That skill put you in this room. The afternoon audience takes place in the great reception hall of the palace. You sit slightly to one side with your palette ready, because when the pharaoh speaks his will, someone must record it. You do not look directly at the pharaoh, which is not custom but instinct. You focus instead on the words, on the precise meaning of each phrase, on capturing the order as it was given. 2 commands are issued today, one regarding the distribution of grain to a temple in the eastern delta, one regarding a land dispute between 2 noble families. You record both with careful accuracy, your pen moving in the quick cursive strokes of hieratic. When the audience ends, you transcribe your notes onto proper papyrus in full formal hieroglyphs, the kind that will be stored in the archive. This transcription is slower, more deliberate, each sign carrying the full weight of its meaning. You finish as the afternoon light begins to slant through the high windows of the record room. Amenhotep reviews your transcription and corrects one determinative that you placed incorrectly on a word meaning boundary. You correct it without frustration, because precision is not a matter of pride, it is a matter of function. As evening approaches, you roll the completed documents carefully and tie them with linen cord. Each scroll receives a clay seal pressed with your personal scribal seal, a small carved stone bearing your name and title. You place them in their proper location on the archive shelf, organized by year, province, and document type. This organization is not administrative convenience. It is a form of making the world legible. You step outside as the sun reaches the horizon and turns the Nile to copper. A group of farmers are making their way home along the riverbank, their tools on their shoulders. You are almost one of them. Your father was a farmer, and had your teacher Nebwenenif not noticed your memory and your careful hands, you would be walking with them now. You do not feel superior to them. You feel grateful, the way a person feels when they understand how close they came to a different life. You walk home through the cooling evening air, your palette under your arm, and your mind already sorting tomorrow's tasks. The records you copied today will outlast the building they are stored in. The measurements you calculated will shape the harvest distribution of an entire province. And the decree you transcribed this afternoon will be read by other scribes in other rooms long after you are gone. You eat a quiet evening meal, wash your hands carefully as you always do before sleep, and lie down on your sleeping mat. Tomorrow there will be more records, more scrolls, more numbers that must be exactly right, and you will be there before the sun rises to begin again.